Right, listen up. This is Jack Carter. Grab a brew and let's get into it. If you own a house, run a small business, or pay taxes in this country, and I know you do, you need to hear this. Over the last month, things in the Middle East have escalated in a way that hits us where it hurts. Our wallets, our heating, our petrol tanks. An attack on a Kuwaiti oil tanker near Dubai wasn't an isolated headline. It's a symptom. It's a warning.
You see, we've been watching a raw US, Israel, Iran that's gone beyond tit for tat. Shipping lanes are being threatened. Tensions near the Strait of Hormuz keep spiking. And that, me friends, is where the global oil market breathes. The Strait of Hormuz? Don't gloss over that name. It's one of the choke points of global energy. A handful of miles where a very large slice of the world's seaborne oil passes every day. Shut that down, or even threaten it, and markets react like frightened animals. Prices jump, futures spike, traders panic. And those ripples cross oceans and reach British shores.
Now, let me be blunt. When global supply is interrupted, we feel it in our bills. Wholesale energy prices feed directly into household electricity and gas costs and petrol at the pump. Businesses see higher operating costs, which then pass back to us in the price of food, goods, services. It's a chain reaction. You heat your home less, you cut back on groceries, you delay repairs, the economy tightens. Think about a small family in Leeds or a corner shop in Norwich. Even a modest rise in crude prices can add up to hundreds of pounds a year, maybe more, for a household already squeezed by inflation. For businesses, higher transport and energy costs can mean fewer staff hours, cancelled orders, or shuttered plans. It's not abstract, it's real and painful. By the way, don't expect these shocks to disappear fast. Oil markets price in risk. One attack, one disruption to shipping, and the price floor moves up. And if things deteriorate, you get a domino effect. Insurance premiums on shipping soar, tankers reroute, delivery schedules break down. The result? Less supply and steeper prices. So what's the government doing? Frankly, too little, too slow. For years, we've outsourced our security to global markets while cutting back on our own resilience. We cheered renewables, and I'm not against green energy, but the rush to pivot without shoring up baseload supply left gaps. North Sea production was scaled down. Ambitious nuclear projects were delayed. Strategic reserves weren't prioritized properly. That's a policy failure, plain and simple. You can't pretend to be protected because you buy energy on the international market, while that market is volatile and, right now, dangerous. Energy independence isn't some ideological slogan. It's national insurance. So, what should we do? First, we need action on the North Sea. That means sensible, pragmatic steps to responsibly maximize domestic oil and gas where safe and feasible. Not a free-for-all, but a pragmatic rebalancing so we don't leave ourselves completely exposed to hostile regions half a world away. Second, nuclear. Yes, build it. Nuclear gives stable, low-carbon baseload power that weather-dependent renewables can't provide alone. It's expensive up front, I know, but the cost of not having it when prices spike, far greater. We need to move projects along faster, simplify planning, cut unnecessary red tape, and protect investors so the work actually gets done. Third, strategic reserves and storage. We must beef up our reserves, fuel stocks, gas storage, and oil strategic reserves that give us a buffer. Think of it as our rainy day fund for energy. When supply is chalked off elsewhere, we should have breathing space to avoid panic-driven price spikes. Fourth, Diversify supply and logistics. More LNG terminals, sensible interconnectors with friendly neighbours, and stronger port security measures. And yes, sensible incentives for private firms to invest in storage, pipeline resilience, and rapid response logistics. Now, some of you will say, Jack, isn't this just more drilling and more fossil fuel? I get that. The point isn't to go back to reckless extraction. It's to secure our homes and our businesses. Renewables must continue, but without a credible baseload and emergency stockpile, we're praying for stability from a region that's currently anything but stable. This is a national preparedness argument. You wouldn't store no food and leave the larder empty because you hope imports continue uninterrupted, would you? Of course not. So why treat energy differently? Let me talk specifics. Again, practical things. Temporary tax incentives to restart safe North Sea exploration where viable. Accelerated but rigorous approval for nuclear sites already in the pipeline. A government mandate for minimum strategic fuel reserves tied to months of consumption. And funding to harden port and transit security for energy shipments. Also, consumer protections. While we fix supply, we must shield the most vulnerable. Cap mechanisms, targeted subsidies for low-income households, and emergency business grants for critical services. Don't hand out blank checks to big corporations, but do make sure GP surgeries, food suppliers, and logistics firms can keep running without collapsing under sudden price hikes. Look, this is not about party politics. It's about national survival. Whether you lean left or right, you can't deny the sense of urgency. The question is, will we act now or wait for a crisis that forces us into panic measures? I want to hear from you. Drop me a comment. Tell us how rising energy costs are hitting you. Are you cutting back on eating, closing early, not filling the car? These stories matter. They should go straight to the MP's inbox. If your MP isn't listening, tell them loudly. And here's what you can do at home straight away. Audit your energy use. Insulate where you can. Switch to cheaper tariffs if available. And consider community schemes for bulk buying of energy-saving measures. Small steps help, but they don't replace national action. If this government won't move fast enough, pressure works. Write to your paper. Call your local councillor. Organise town hall meetings. Get your business associations together and demand secure supply lines and fair support for increased fuel costs. It's not lofty activism, it's protecting your household budget and your staff's jobs. Final point. Morale and mindset. We are a nation that knows how to grit our teeth and get on. But grit isn't a policy. Grit plus policy, now that's strength. We need clear-eyed stewardship, pragmatic utilization of our own resources, decisive investment in nuclear and storage, stronger ports, and real support for those hit hardest. So, I'll say it again, this isn't a distant foreign story. It's here now, and the price you pay could be higher heating bills, pricier petrol, and a cost-of-living squeeze that deepens. Wake up, hold the managers of our national energy policy to account, and demand that Britain secures itself. That's your duty as a taxpayer, and it's theirs as custodians of the public purse. Right, we're opening the lines in a few minutes. Tell me your experience. Be blunt, be factual. I'm listening. I'm angry about this. You should be too. Let's turn that anger into action. Jack Carter signing off for now, but not for long. Stay tuned.